welcome back to my channel. Today's gonna be a whole lot of fun because we're gonna be doing a little bit of a chit chat video and we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a little bit of play with colors. We have created color. So I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna start with this really fun makeup look today, but before we can start with fun makeup, we need to have awesome skin. So I have already taken my my Acure Organics facial toner. This is the Balancing Rose Red Tea Toner. So tea it is. Mad Hippie Eye Cream. This is white tea. My Andalou Naturals Do-It-Yourself SPF 30 Facial Serum. Even though it has SPF in it, I still love it for whenever because it has white tea and it plumps up the skin, gives you that flawless kind of under coverage, almost like a makeup primer, but it really is just a concentrate or a serum. So whatever your skincare wishes are, that's what you want in a concentrate or a serum. After I'm doing all that, we then get into the more cosmetic grade variations of skincare, the underwear for our makeup. And I've already applied the e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer. I was actually talking to a lady who was incredibly wealthy about this product and I'm like, I don't know what got into me, but I started talking about it and then she's like, I have that. And I was like, isn't it awesome? And she's like, yes, it's so good. She's like, I'd rather spend my makeup money on other things. I'm like, me too. But regardless, this is still an awesome product and it doesn't have I guess like bad ingredients in it that make my skin like break out, and they do have a good mattifying one if you're very oily, but there are good oils for oily skin. This I really like, but if you're afraid of that dew and your makeup is hard to keep on because you're oily, then I would get either the hydrating if you really want that glowy look or the mattifying. Next, of course, I've already applied my eye base and I use concealer number 5 from Anastasia. This is not my favorite concealer for my face. It is very pigmented for most people, but it's very nice and sticky and tacky and beautiful for an eye base. And so I just use my damp beauty blender to pack that on. I spray this with a little light mist of toner because I don't like it when it has water in it. It's just too damp for my blood, too damp for my taste. So I apply that so I'm not pushing and pulling and tugging on my eyelids because aggressive makeup application could also cause us to age. So the gentler, the better. It's been a hot minute since we took a pretty pink palette, so we're gonna go ahead and take the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. And so let's go into this bad boy. First off, you want to stop your lids from creasing. If you have oily skin, you want to stop it from creasing. If you have dry skin, you don't want your makeup to cake up. So we're going to avoid that creasing. So let's go ahead and get into a basic color and take Divinity first. It's just like a seamless veil over your eyelid, and my concentrate is already starting to crease because I've been blabbing. And so we're just going to brush this all over the eyelid. The next color I'm going to take in here is Satin Sheets. And yeah, I just flipped the palette over to bring attention to this guy. But we're going to take a little bit of Satin Sheets. And this is a really nice sort of highlighty pink shade. And place this in the inner corner of the eye. The arch of the brow bone. And just the tail arch. We're not going to pull it in here. That's more of like a drag queen method to make the brow ridge look higher. I'm going to go ahead now and take Almond Truffle, and this is a sort of a browny, sort of like a moussey creamy brown. It's very cool tone brown. I apologize for not doing a review on this palette. Actually, I've just felt like it's been around for a while. A lot of people have already swatched and reviewed it. I don't really know if I'm the place people come to for swatch videos or review videos. I usually end up with a lot of back and forth feedback on my style of reviews and swatches. So definitely let me know in the comments below if you're interested in seeing my take on the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I did do a first impressions on this palette, like fairly, I think, obviously the videos will edit because I can blab quite a bit and I don't like to bore you guys. But yeah, I'll link my first impressions down below, and you tell me what you think, if you want to see that or if you want an actual like review. So we're just gonna go ahead, and I think for today's video I'm gonna leave it fairly uncut, not to like bore you guys to death, the people who hate talking, but I want to leave it like, I don't know, kind of calm and like just chatty with you guys. Next color I'm going to be taking in here is Malted. Malted, yes! Let's take Malted. This is a shimmering chocolate, and I think this will be really fun. Chocolatey, baby. Okay, I'm chocolatey. And they're not even. Okay. Now they're even. I'm going to be taking Mocha next. Or, yeah, we're way upside down. We're going to be taking Mocha next. And we're just going to blend out that outer corner color into the transition shade. And this actually is a very annoying color to use, I must say. And the reason it's annoying is because it doesn't like to blend, so I kind of like to use this to bridge the gap between the transition color and the outer corner color if I do use Mocha. This typically is one of my like go-to transition shades, although it might be a little like, I don't know, considerably in the dark family for me, just because I really want to like get a good shade in there and then use it with a good blending brush, so it never really appears too dark on me. But anybody could really use Mocha. I just think it's a very kind of patchy shade to use. I'm going to actually now take Almond Truffle again, and we're just gonna kind of smooth out that Mocha, because I'm just like ridiculously aware of how patchy that color is. This palette is a lot more cool toned than the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance. Now I'm obsessed with the Renaissance palette, and I would have loved to have taken it again today, but I feel like I've already done like 3 Anastasia Beverly Hills eye tutorials back to back to back. And I'm like, girl, we gotta do something else because everyone's gonna be bored. So next I'm gonna be taking Cotton Candy. I like to try to take the palette, every palette I have, like quite a few times, like a normal person would, you know, because I'm sure if you guys are buying these palettes on my recommendations, you want to see more than 2 looks, given that there's like 14 shadow shades in here. I don't want you guys to have to like continuously dip into 1 or 2 shades and be like, well, we didn't use the other ones, like what was the point in that? Exactly. And although palettes were created with artists in mind, hey, if you have an artistic flair out there, we need to use all these colors. We just do. So we're gonna be taking 2 AM. Wearable color, baby, wearable color. We're not gonna be creating some crazy shape, but we're gonna be adding colors. And so 2 AM is a nice duochrome purple. I don't know if this color is going to stain the eyelid or not. I was given this palette as a gift, and I didn't get around to using it as much as I would have liked to have, because I started working for skincare, I think shortly after I got it. And then I was like, I don't have time for color, but I'm like, that's no excuse. We're going to do color on our day off. We're going to put makeup on our days off, and we're going to be painted, and we're going to have fun. Damn it, I love makeup. Okay, and now we're gonna go back in with a little bit more Cotton Candy, because we just blended out the brow bone, because everything needs to be perfect with the brow bone. That's like the true test of your blending, whether the brow bone has like a weird cut right in through here. So I always play around and go back and forth and make sure that that is operating to full capacity. So a little bit of the lid color just to smooth out that purple. So with every smoky eye, you want a little bit back and forth, just so everything is perfect. And of course, this is not a traditional smoky eye. It's just getting a little smoked out, if you will. Okay, so for the inner rim of the lash line, we're going to be taking Butter London's Brown Sugar. This is a good color to play with in the summertime or when it's hot. It's just a nice, easy eyeliner shade. Taking a Little Lovely. We're going to be taking the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, and I have here the shade Light 44. as much as I would love it if they had names, if this was called like, I don't know, almonds and cream or whatever, I do appreciate at the same time as a working artist that the tone here is listed, because if they were to change the formula but the tones were to remain the same, it would make it very easy to, I guess, repurchase it. Everybody has a tendency to remember the name, and sometimes names get discontinued, but tones and kind of, you know, those things never really change because they're like the true like skin tone description. So I'm light 44 for reference, and I do think I appear a little different on camera. So this is definitely something that you want to buy yourself, check it out yourself, get matched, because it's full coverage. Whenever we're dealing with full coverage, you want like a perfect match. Like, sure, if I say I'm a light, BB cream or CC cream, go out. If you're also light, and grab that one, unless you're porcelain or, you know. But I have a pink tone, and the way the colors go, it's the odd numbers that are warm and the cool numbers are even. So if that kind of helps, there is one that's slightly more fair than this one, and that one is like white paste. So this one is this is like white pink paste. So this one. So yeah, if you're slightly lighter than me, or you think you are, I would get the lightest shade, which I think is 42. So if you're like me, but you feel like you're more warm or more yellow, I would get 45 or 43. So we're gonna go ahead and just splash a little bit of toner on my beauty blender, because once again, I don't like it soaked. Okay, so with this half of the face, you can see, you know, it's very clean and very even. It's full coverage, but you can totally still move your face, and that's because this is sort of like almost like a oil-free cream foundation. So I really like the finish on this one, and I only take about like 2 half pumps, and the reason I do that is so it doesn't kind of like lacquer up on my hand like a concealer concentrate would, because I still want that mobility. I want it to like cover like foundation, and I like this because you don't have to work too fast with it, but you need just the tiniest little bit. And it doesn't like cake up. Your face looks really nice and mobile. So I'm just gonna pounce that damp beauty blender into there, and you can see like with a dot of it, I never apply it directly to my face to start. I always like to kind of work that in by hand, and so, but always to work with the drop, 1 drop at a time if possible. You could see a little goes a long ways. This foundation I really like, because as much as it can possibly, it does cover texture, which is extremely hard to do. It looks really good after several hours wear. It doesn't make your face look dry or flaky because it's got like a very creamy, airy consistency. But yeah, you don't want this to get stopped up, because the ones in the store get all dry and crusty. So I love the lid on that though. Isn't that fabulous? The packaging is supreme. So I'm just gonna go in now with a little bit more 2 AM. And I always do this after the foundation's on, that way the color underneath the lash line has something to bind to, and it also helps keep that eyeliner in the rim from running. So it's like it works both ways. Now, just to keep this eye simple and shave some time off it, sprinkles is also really easy to blend out color. So blend that out. In the inner corner, of course, we're going to use the same brush, so the colors marry. So there's not just like a harsh contrast between, you know, the 2 colors. We want this smoky eye. I keep calling it smoky, and it's not a natural smoky eye. But we want this eye to wrap around and have like that natural, you know, married effect. Kind of brush off as much pigment as you can out of the brush before going in with a light shade. We're going to be taking satin sheets, and of course you still want the look to marry. Otherwise, if you're still kind of learning makeup, you might want to take a new brush just to keep things pretty easy for yourself, unless you can get that pretty clean. Don't spray it with alcohol or anything like that, because adding dampness could mess up your eyeshadows and your look. So keep your powders dry. If you lock it concealer in light 18, these numbers run like before the foundation, obviously. And this, of course, like I said, the even numbers mean cool. Although I don't think Light 18 was exactly the one I needed to buy. I think I should have worked a little harder to get the right one unless they were out of it. That could have been why I grabbed this one. But this one is just a little warm for me, but we're just gonna use it to mask my flaws, which is what you do with concealer. I'm not gonna create a mask all over the face. We're just doing it to hide our issues. Next, we're going to be taking the e.l.f. HD. And we're just going to pat this over the skin. No need to give yourself a full beat down. This will be just fine. Battle and Sex mascara. And just push those up. Any additional powder that we didn't really beat in. And then it is time for cheek color. I'm going to be taking the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Holiday. And this is really pretty, actually. That's Holiday. We've really only swatched it, so I can't wait to see it on. I loved Trickery. A lot of people asking me about that blush I was wearing at Trickery. And they're like, what is it? Is it a peach? Is it a pink? And people put a lot of things in a box. It's either this or it's either that. It's like, no, it's a peachy pink. Holiday is also a peachy pink. But this is more of like a ruby red grapefruit peachy pink. Next up is Paradise Cove Super Shock Cheek. And this is a bronzer, and this is considered ideal for light skin tones. That's what the description said. And I'm putting this on with my plain Jane Beauty brush. We're just going in quite lightly. You may not be able to see this on camera, but that's okay. It's better than looking orange on camera, right? So we're just going to it's actually got a very taupey tone, so it's probably why we're not really seeing any warmth in it. It's really designed for very cool, very fair skin tones. Dreamcatcher Super Shock Cheek, and this is a highlighter. It looks like I've played with this to death. I've really only used it for probably like a week. But they just lose the pattern on the top right away. No biggie. And this one has like a really nice hologram in it. So it looks really dewy and really gives a nice finish to an otherwise very matte foundation without looking frosty. So I highly recommend Dreamcatcher if you like highlighters. With Kat Von D's liquid lipstick in Lolita. And just so you guys know, I'm all excited about indie brands, any brands. My dog got to this, by the way. And I love the formula. I love her everlasting liquid formula. So you're gonna go in with Lolita. I think people want some clarity on who manufactures Kat Von D, because people are like, it's not cruelty free or vegan enough for me. And just so you guys know, even though Kat Von D is exclusively sold at Sephora at this point in time, she is opening up her own flagship store. That and Kendo is actually who manufactures her products, and they're an indie company, and that's why she's able to change her ingredients, change her formulas, pull certain colors like Jeffrey and stuff like that, because Kendo is actually indie. And so Kendo doesn't work with just Louis Vuitton. Kendo also works with Jeffree Star, and that's why he's also considered indie. So so Kat Von D does have Kendo working for them. So that's why it's even though it's an exclusive, it's still cruelty free. There's exclusives kind of everywhere you shop, whether it be Ulta, Macy's and stuff like that. Certain places just have their own things. Like Bare Minerals, I think, has an exclusive palette to Macy's, and blah 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 blah. So just like little nuances like that. The next color I have here is ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Marshmallow. The name's kind of already coming off, so I hope I remember, but that's Marshmallow. And these are super satiny. I ate a lot of grape jelly. Probably does. Okay. Perfectionist comes through. Liquid lip in metallic rose. I look like some weird fluffy character from the 80s. But I like it. I hope you do too. I'll see you guys in the next video. And I thank you so much for watching. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me on the continued use of Kat Von D, I hope you enjoyed this video.